CGI, creating an imagery out of home. Let's start with what is CGI. CGI shortly is computer generated imagery. So this tech has existed since the 1960s and it's been widely used in movies, video games, advertisement, everywhere. But recently, this has taken quite a turn with the social media and the vertical format evolving. So in the past year and a half, we've been able to accomplish something special with this CGI. So let's start by taking a look at that. Thank you. Well, now let's get to the most interesting question. How and where is this thing made? Well, this has to start somewhere, right? And like everything, this starts with the brand. We study what the brand is about. We'll have a lot of talks with the brand, what they want to represent in this advertisement, what they are interested in showing off to their viewers. So that's where it starts. And from then, we go into location scouting. And like every billboard or advertisement, where this thing happens, that's very important because it's the location that it matters. How many times have we drawn through a road and seen epic, huge, gigantic billboards and been impressed? So that's where this comes in. When we had to work for Peacock, the location was very important. So we had to pick somewhere that was in Mumbai and where there was a billboard and where it was an attention speaking location so that people understood where this was coming from. And it had to be straight to the point and it had to communicate that it was in India and it was at the heart of India. Let's get to the next step. Record on any device. So this particular thing, it's very interesting because what we are trying to get is a very authentic look as if somebody was viewing this from a location and they showed it on their mobile phones. So we went to great extents to recreate these looks because most of the times we may be just shooting with the mobile phone. And when the client shows up and they'll be like, "Arey, we are spending this much budget, why are you shooting this on a mobile phone?" So, but we justified it. But in the end, how many times have we, looked like we were doing this? But, that's the most important part because it's not a filmic or cinematic camera that we use. It's a mobile phone or a viewer's perspective. That's what most important in this one. And after we have shot the footage, we go to a 3D software. This is where the actual magic happens. We have to craft the 3D models of each of those objects that we are going to place. We have to give them color, material. We have to match the lighting, all those things, all those technical things come in. That's where the real craftsmanship sits, like like where sculptors that we make statues. It used to be the big thing, but right now we have to do it digitally, so we can transfer it everywhere, create it into images, place it anywhere, any location in the whole world. Why did this thing become so popular among the brands? Well, advertising has been evolving since the dawn of time. People used to do, they would run on a rickshaw and call with their microphone. From then, it started to going into print media, and there were billboards, there were TV advertisements, there were advertisements on theaters. All those things were happening. But with the coming of social media, people started, the audience of these brands, they started spending more time on their phones. This this pushed the brands to try something different, because they couldn't just place a billboard because people were on their phones. Well, this is the solution that they came up with. We take the same thing, but we bring it to the shorts format, the reels format. Well, CGI helps brands show off their product very impressively. Let's take some examples. The first example would be the Tata New campaign that we did. They had a grand sale going on, and what do they pick to show off that sale? It's a bag. It's a paper bag. So by showing that paper bag everywhere in locations all over India, they're communicating the sale is live. It's all over India. And with the Virat Kohli video, it went really viral, but it was made by Duroflex. We were talking, and Duroflex were delivering their mattress to Virat Kohli, even in New York. So what they wanted to show was there was a Virat Kohli statue in New York, and then they were delivering their mattress. So this was a very tactical move, because Virat Kohli is famous. If somebody sees that there's a bronze statue of him, then everybody click on it. Nevertheless, to say, the Virat Kohli element went more famous than the brand itself. And then the horse one that you see, it's a famous P.F. Chang's horse. So P.F. Chang's was launching in India for the first time. P.F. Chang's is a very famous international hotel brand. So what they wanted to show was their esteemed horse. It was walking through India, and it was reaching their store. So they had the model of the horse. They wanted to make it walk through Mumbai, of course. It's very difficult to get a horse done right in CGI. You have to account for all the movement and all the little things and quirks it does, But it's even difficult with a golden horse, because we all know it's not real. If it's golden, if it's a real horse, then it will have its muscles and everything, stretch and fold. But when it's golden, how does it move? So these were the things we had to solve while, creating something extraordinary out of life. And the next one is displayed is milk bikis. We all know milk bikis. It's my mom's favorite biscuit. So we weren't going anywhere without creating a milk bikkie rolling on the ceiling. Okay, so all these elements, they really helped push the brand image through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all these social media platforms. People were sharing, resharing, everything went viral. All these images are captivating because it gets straight to the point. The locations are important, but the products, they show off the product. If it's a vertical screen, the product will cover almost like 50% of the screen. So brands really loved this one, and I hope this trend will keep going. Well, let's see how my team make each of these CGI advertisement very special. I'll tell you, it's in the attention to details. we could CGI everything, but we really have to see what's important, like what kind of details make it seem real, make it really interesting to the humans, rather than something, how many times have we watched a movie and felt like, "Arey, this is something, it's computer generated, this feels very fake, it doesn't feel real." So getting to this realism, the work is almost like it's only 10% of the work, but it's like it's almost 90% of the job, because people take a lot of time to get to that detail in CGI. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to get the attention to the details correct. Let's see. While we made the peacock video, we had a basic storyboard over there. So once we did the location scouting, we sketched some billboards over there, we sketched a peacock over there, we predicted its movements, and then we went there and shot it again with the camera movement, like doing this. And it's the camera movement and the sound and the movements that made the peacock video a realistic thing. But when it came to this shouldn't, we just wanted a bronze statue, but just some smooth, shiny bronze statue wouldn't work. We really had to work on the details. Then we studied, how does bronze look in real life? Bronze has all those rough details that you see on the left. It reflects green. At sometimes it looks like golden. At sometimes it's very shiny. At sometimes it's not. We had to study it. And even then, we made a choice of making his hair and beards darker. So it actually elevates his shape a lot more than how it would if it were all bronze. Those things, those are possible way more with CGI. If we are doing it in real terms, then we won't have that kind of flexibility with materials and lighting. Well, another thing is to build a story around it. If we are just placing something there in the open, then rather than telling a story, it's just there. What we want to do is build something around it, give some additional objects to support it. Let's say on the left one, there's just the base model. But when it comes to the right one, you have to think, where is this model actually placed? Won't it fall off? Won't people actually want to name that thing? Put some standees over there that explains this thing. So that's the thought process that really elevates the story of it. Yeah. Well, this is how the background footage, and you have to match the model to get the final output. Well, let's talk to the future of CGI. CGI has really changed since 2020. So many free and open source softwares has really contributed to it. We work with a software called Blender. It's really free and open source. It's really handy. And this has really inspired a lot of students over the COVID time to pick up CG and try new things. And the movement and changes have been exceptional over movies, games, advertisements. Even in medical fields or architecture, CGI has been used widespread these days. And definitely, with the coming of AI and new tools, it's going to change. Post 2025, a lot of new image creating and video creating AIs will be born. And a lot of this work that used to be tedious, it will be automated. So, if anything, but this is a great chance for everyone who has a creative field, who has a creative spirit, to pick up CGI and try new things. People are creative, but it used to take a lot of years to master these skills. If you were a sculptor at the period of Michelangelo, it took a damn lot of skill and practice to get this. Nowadays, it's much easier. You don't need a real material. You just need a computer. So if this is anything but the time for creativity. All right, guys. Thank you. That will be it.